So let's break this down here. Let's do a step by step by step by step by step. How to install carpet in a butt-naked house. Now, what's butt-naked? That means it's empty and ready to go, stripped down to nothing. That's new construction or a remodel that's been completely stripped down to the basis, and it's time to knock it out. So, as you can see, we're putting tack strips around the room. Now, for you DIY types out there that put in a tack strip in, what you want to do to keep things simple is set it about a 1/4 inch back from the baseboards or a fingertip space. Like if you could tuck your fingers in between the tack strip and the baseboard, you're in good shape. Not more than that though, just kind of, that's the perfect fit. Next, make sure the little tiny nails on the tack strip there are pointed towards the baseboard and nothing else. Because if they're not pointed towards the baseboard, it's not gonna hold the carpet when you stretch it in place. Once you have all that done, we're gonna go ahead and lay out all this padding and we're gonna staple the stuff out of it. Get it all down nice and tight so it doesn't move when we bring in the carpet to install it. And if there's a concrete subfloor, you just tape it all down, tape the seams, you could tape it to the tack strip, and you're good to go. You could also glue it to the concrete subfloor, but in most cases, you're gonna have a wood subfloor under it. You just throw some staples in it to secure it, and you are ready to rock. Just work your way all the way around the room. Then when you trim the padding in, you're gonna go ahead and trace the tack strips. Make sure none of it's on top of the tack strip because once again, when you stretch it in, it will not hold in place. And while I'm running my mouth here, I forgot to tell you, if you are interested in making $75 to $125 per hour doing simple carpet repairs, you can go ahead and check out the strategies at thecarpetrepaircheatcode.com, link directly below the video. And every week we pick a random subscriber and send them a Roberts Electric stapler. Good stuff over there. Back to this video. Now that all the padding's down, stapled, life is good, we're going to go ahead and bring the carpet in, and you can see how I unrolled it sideways there and then folded it up and gave it the spin. The reason we do that is if you try to unroll it straight up, in many cases you will scuff and scrape and scratch and gouge the walls. Last thing you want to do is have to fall back and redo a bunch of work. So we get that all laid out, we rough cut it in. Now we want to burn seams if there are any in the room. So I'm doing a little freestyle cut here, just tracing the rows on the back, lining them up, burning it together. And don't worry, most people can't do the freestyle, so just take a straight edge and trace that all the way down to get a nice clean edge on the carpet, then seam it together. Get that seam to dry for a good 10-15 minutes, and then you're going to bust out the stretchers and start making life nice and tight. Just go around the rooms, kicking everything in, trim and tuck, getting everything all the way tight, good finished product. Staple up to any doorways where you're going up to hard surfaces. You could do a turn and tack on that, and if there's any doorway seams, you could seam those on and then stretch away from them. We are just going crazy here. Look at it. All right, so here's a doorway seam. We're going to go ahead and make our cuts on that super fast. Put the tape under it. Go ahead and burn that together. And then once that's dried, you want to give it a little stretch on the opposite wall just to make sure it's good and snug and you don't have that extra slack in the doorway. And then you just continue working yourself around the room. Now, when it comes to stretching, you got your set walls and you got your hard walls, as we call them. So your set walls where you're going to give it a little love tap with the kicker, lock it onto the tack strip, trim it and tuck it so it's nice and secure. Then you can go to the opposite wall and you could use either your knee kicker and just blast it on, or you could use a crab stretcher, or yes, you could use a power stretcher and stretch it hard all the way across, getting it nice and tight, lock it onto the tack strips, crease, trim, tuck, and you got a beautiful final product. Now, let's talk about what you're saving when you do this yourself versus hiring this out. On average, let's just call it $5 per yard to hire somebody to install and empty and ready to go. That's your labor only rate. So a whole entire house on average is going to be, middle America, 120 yards times $5 a yard if it's completely empty and ready to go for the labor piece. So that's what, $600 right there in labor. So if you did it yourself, you could go ahead and save $600, but if you're a DIY person, it probably would take you 2 full days because you just don't have the rhythm, the skills, and all that fun stuff, plus the cost of tools. Not to say don't try stuff. You absolutely should try new things, but just to let you know the difference there. And then obviously you're going to go ahead and buy the product from any of the big box stores or directly from the individual installer supplier. So a couple different ways to go about it. Now, you installers out there, now that I've said all that, I really hope you are slinging some product in your marketplace, because you can make $600 a day, or you could sell some product and make an easy $1,200 a day. And that extra $600 commission can make a world of difference in your lifestyle there. Think about that. 5 days a week at $1,200, because let's be real, installers aren't showing up for work on Saturday and Sunday because they party too hard. But if you do $1,200 times 5 days, that's 6 G's a week, times 4 weeks, keep that pipeline full. That's 24 grand a month. That sets up a nice lifestyle for you. Remember that. Where most guys unfortunately get stuck in the trap of working for stores and they're making $1,500 a week. And don't get me wrong, you could pay your bills, you could have some things in life with that, but you could have a heck of a lot more if you jump into the driver's seat. Just keep the pipeline full, keep grinding, and really start building things out. That's where you get the extra cars, you get the extra investments that are going to go ahead and work for you while you sleep, you get the extra vacations, and you buy experiences for your family. Hey, we all have a limited time out here. There's no doubt about that. Nobody can argue that. So let's go as big as possible to make as much as possible in this ridiculously tough business, the carpet and flooring industry. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up here with a doorway threshold, just trim and tuck, tuck, tuck. Kick it in. We're going to staple that down. Staple it down. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Tap that down. Finish stretching out in this room. I'm out of here, man. You know what's good. Go ahead and comment below with any questions about the carpet and flooring industry. I'm going to make deep videos on videos on videos on videos to make this the #1 channel all about carpet and flooring and change the game. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.